Hi, I read Moby Dick by Herman Melville. This book is 654 pages, excluding the epilogue, dictionary, and the further reading. It's definitely a very large book, but by no means does that mean it's a boring read. Sure, at times it might lag, and I had the urge to skip a few paragraphs, but this is an all time great that certainly does not disappoint. Just about everybody knows about this book, and they just flirt with the idea of reading it. But they're usually afraid of the length. But like I said, it's worth it. Melville was brilliant the entire book and captured the reader's attention not just during the book, but during my day. I'll just think about whales and the daring ways of whale hunting. I started the book with little to no interest in whales or even sailing. I very rarely even fish. But in no time, Melville had me wandering off into the crazy world of Moby Dick and the adventure of finding the white whale. What a lot of people don't understand about this book is that a solid 70 to 85% of this entire story is just facts, details, and descriptions of what the life of whale hunting was like in the 1850s. This would include Melville writing 3 pages just over Brits, which were these tiny little fish which were major parts of the diet for the whale, or 3 or 4 pages just covering boiling pits, which was just boiling the blubber of whales into oil. Melville really allows the reader to dive into the story and into what the lives of whalemen were like, and that's why I think this story sticks with people for so long. The reader basically becomes a whalesman by the end of this book, and they can understand what these characters endure on a daily basis, and that I can relate to just about anybody that spends time hunting in the sea. Through these extensive descriptions and statements just about the daily routines of the whalemen, Melville connects with the reader, teaches them about life in sea, and leads them on a journey like no other in the quest for finding Moby Dick. My favorite part of the book was not necessarily in the plot. Rather, it is an element of the story. This book had one of the first instances of the unreliable narrator. The very first 3 words of the book says, "Call me Ishmael." This immediately describes a narrator that can't be trusted and that could be immature and that could deceive or exaggerate his stories and descriptions. The end of this book was so epic and an unbelievable combination of intense events, and the voyage was so unforgettable that for a long time after reading, it just makes you think. It would occur to me that the end of the book might be too epic, and it could be something that just couldn't happen. Sure, incredible stories happen time to time, but the sheer epicness of this tale and this clear unreliability of the narrator just brings elements of doubt and wonderment in if the story could have really happened, or if it was mostly just fabricated in Ishmael's mind. When I think deeper, I wonder if Ishmael even set foot on the ship with these men he describes, or if he ever saw a white whale, and if Moby Dick even existed in the first place. In the storylines, in the story guidelines, of course. This book just made me think and think and think and think and think and think and think, and I can't think of a better or more important quality for a book to have. When you flip the last page and shut the book for the last time, is that really the end? Or does the book stay with you? Do you think about the book and its messages, stories, or uncertainty of the plot even happening? You could say that this book changes a person's thought process and gives a new dimension to the meaning of a story, and just gives them memories from a book that last for the rest of their life. That's what makes this excellent book so memorable. The ability for a fictional tale at sea to carry on with you and shine during and after your experience reading Moby Dick. So, thank you, Herman Melville. Moby Dick is a great read and one that will continue to capture the attention of readers forever. Thank you, and I'm outie.